Judah ben Tema says, "Be as strong as a leopard and as swift as an eagle, fleet as a gazelle and mighty as a lion, to perform the will of your Father in heaven." He specified 4 things concerning the service of the Creator, may he be blessed. And he began with strong as a leopard, because it is an important general principle in the service of the Creator, may he be blessed. Since sometimes a person desires to perform a mitzvah, but is prevented from performing it because of people who mock him. Therefore, he cautioned that you should have fortitude against the mockers and not refrain from performing the mitzvah. And thus said Rabban Yohanan ben Zakkai to his students, "May it be your will that the fear of heaven be upon you like the fear of flesh and blood." And so he says concerning the subject of shame, that sometimes a person is ashamed before a person more than he is ashamed before the Creator, may he be blessed.
Therefore he warned that you should have fortitude against the mockers and not be ashamed. So too did David, peace be upon him, say, "I will speak of your decrees in the presence of kings and not be ashamed." Though he was pursued and he fled among the nations, he had taken strength in his Torah and learned, though they had mocked him. And he said, "As light as an eagle," corresponding to the eye's vision, and compared it to an eagle, because just as the eagle soars through the air, so too does the eye's vision. Meaning that you should shut your eyes from seeing evil, for it is the beginning of transgression. For the eye sees, the heart covets, and the person's limbs complete the act. And he said, "As strong as a lion," corresponding to the heart. For the might of service of the Creator, may he be blessed, is in the heart. And he stated that you should strengthen your heart for his service.
He stated, "Run like a gazelle," corresponding to the legs, "for your legs shall run toward the good." So too would David the king, peace be upon him, pray for the 3 of them. But he changed the sequence. "Lead me in the path of your commandments," about legs. Following that, he said, "Turn my heart to your decrees." And after that he said, "Avert my eyes from seeing falsehood." Concerning the heart he mentioned, "Turn," whereas concerning the eye, "Avert." For the heart is in his power to turn toward the good path or the evil one, even after he has seen an evil action. Thus he prayed that he should help him to turn to the good path. But seeing an evil action is not in his power, for it is possible that it will come upon him suddenly, and he will see it. Thus he prayed that he avert his eyes from seeing falsehood, so he would not invite it before him at all. Thus, a person needs strengthen himself as a lion to stand in the morning for the service of his Creator, even if his evil impulse taunts him in winter, saying, "How can you get up in the morning when the cold is so great?" Or taunts him in summer, saying, "How can you get up from your bed when you have not had enough sleep?" He should strengthen himself to rise, for you should awaken the dawn, but it should not awaken you. As David, peace be on him, stated, "Awake, my soul, awake, harp and lyre. I will awaken the dawn. I awaken the dawn, but the dawn does not awaken me." So much the more so had he awakened prior to the morning light to rise and offer supplications before his Creator. How great his beauty, and how good! And it is good that one who begins early should aim for the hours when the guard shifts change, which are at 1/3 of the night, and at the end of 2/3 of the night, and at the end of the night. For at these times does the Holy One, blessed be He, recall the destruction of the temple and the dispersion of Israel among the nations. And the prayer which a person offers at that hour for the destruction and the dispersion is propitious and close to acceptance. His supplication shall fall before God, whether drawn out or cut short. It is only that he should orient his heart toward heaven in his supplications. For better a little with intention than increasing them out without intention. It is well to say the section of the Akkada, and the section of the manna, and the 10 Commandments, and the section of the sacrifices, namely the section of the burnt offering, and the meal offering, and the offering of well-being, and the sin offering, and the guilt offering. Of course, it is preferable to say the section of the sacrifices during the day, for they are in place of the offering of the sacrifice, whose time is during the day. When he concludes the section of the burnt offering, he shall say, Master of the universe, may it be your will that this be considered and accepted before you as if I had offered a burnt sacrifice in its time. So too shall he say after the section of the meal offering, and the offering of well-being, and the guilt offering. But after the section of the sin offering he shall not so say, since it does not come freely. And if he is not able to rise early, prior to morning light, in any case he designates the time of the prayer which he designates for all of life, and should not tarry. And he should well consider in his heart, if he had been in the service of a flesh and blood king, who commanded him to rise early at the morning light to his service, he would have taken care and rushed to arise for the service which he commanded him, so much the more so, all the more, and all the more so, before the King of kings, the Holy One, blessed be he. He should hasten to arise vigorously, and should not dress seated, but rather should take his garment and insert his head and arms through it while still laying down. And as a result, when he arises he is covered, as Rabbi Yosei used to adorn himself. The walls of my house have never seen the edge of my garment. And he should not say, I am in my innermost room, who is aware of me and who sees me? For the Holy One, blessed is he, his glory fills the whole world. Any darkness before him is as light. And he should be painstaking with his garment, putting it on in its proper way, not reversing the inside out, as in Shabbat, the chapter which are tied. Rabbi Yochanan said, Who is a sage's student? One who is painstaking in his garment, in reversing it to its proper way. And when he dons his shoes, he should put on the right first, but not tie it, and subsequently put on the left and tie it. Then return to tie the right, for Rabbi Yochanan stated, As tefillin, so too shoes. Just as tefillin are on the left, so too he puts on the left shoe first. Yet it is taught in a baraita, one puts on the right first. Therefore, in order to fulfill both of them, he puts on the right first and ties the left first. He should arise and walk in a stooped posture, as is in the first chapter of Kiddushin. Rabbi Yochanan ben Levi stated, It is prohibited to walk with an upright posture, as his glory fills the land is written. And he should cover his head, as is there too. Rav Huna would not walk 4 cubits with an uncovered head, saying, God's presence is above my head. And he should inspect his orifices, as Rabbi Yochanan stated. One who wishes to accept the complete yoke of the heavenly kingdom should relieve himself, wash his hands, put on tefillin, and engage in the recitation of the Shema and pray. And upon his entrance to the bathroom, he should say, May the honored and holy ones who accompany the Most High be esteemed. Guard me, help me, wait for me until I enter and exit, for such is the way of human beings, and so should he say every time that he enters. He should be modest in the bathroom, and not uncover himself until he sits. And he should clean out his anus, and then sit. He should uncover 2 handbreadths before him, and 1 handbreadth behind him. And a woman, a handbreadth behind her, and nothing at all before her. And when he sits, he should orient himself so that he faces to the south, with his behind to the north, but should not sit between the east and west. However, this is specifically where he relieves himself in an open area, but in a place in which there are barriers, such as a bathroom which is in a house, he need not be so exacting. And when he relieves himself in a field, if he is behind a fence, he may relieve himself immediately. But in a valley, he must distance himself until such point where his associate is not able to see him uncovered. And he should not force himself to push too much. He should wipe with the left hand and not with the right. And he should not wipe with a clay shard because of sorcery, nor with dry grass, nor with the piece of leather with which his companion wiped. He should relieve himself modestly at night in the same manner that he does during the day.
He should not urinate standing, so that the drops not drip on his feet, and he appear like a eunuch, resulting in slander about his children, except where he can stand in a high place, or will urinate into overturned soil. He should take care concerning the prohibition not to take hold of the member and urinate, except from the crown down to the ground side, even if he is married, and should not make his needs wait. He should wash his hands clean and recite the blessing, "Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who sanctified us with his mitzvot and commanded us concerning hand-washing." He should be exacting in pouring over them 3 times on account of the evil spirit alighting upon the hands prior to washing, which is not vitiated until he has poured over them 3 times.
Therefore, he needs to refrain from touching with his hand prior to washing to the mouth, to the nose, and to the ears, and to the eyes, on account of the evil spirit alighting upon them. But if he has no water, he should wipe his hands with a stone chip or with any type of wiping implement, and recite the blessing concerning the cleaning of the hands. He should truly intend in the words of his blessings the meaning of the words which come out of his mouth. And concerning his mentioning the name, he should truly intend the meaning of his recitation of the letters Aleph Daled as the terminology of lordship, for he is the Lord over all. He should further truly intend the meaning of his writing Yud-He as the terminology of being, that he was and is and shall be. And upon mentioning Elohim, he should truly intend that he is mighty and firm, as he possesses capacity over the upper and the lower. For El is the terminology of power and domination, as in, he carried away the gods of the land. He should recite the blessing, "He who created empty cavities." But he should not say empty cavities as an allusion to the subject of empty cavities, which counts 248 like the sum of a person's parts. See in chapter 6 of Oholat, where he enumerates all 248 of a person's parts. It is impossible to exist, as it is in Tractate Nida. The entire time that an infant is in its mother's womb, its navel is open and its mouth is closed. When it emerges into the world's air, the closed opens and the open closes. For were it not so, it is impossible to endure. It is a wonder to create, such as is in the Midrash. For you are great, creating wonders. A person is like a water skin full of air. Should a person make a perforation in a water skin the size of a needle point, the air comes out. Yet a person is full of openings, yet his spirit is kept within him, which is performing wonders. But if he goes immediately to the synagogue and wishes to delay reciting concerning hand-washing, and until he comes to the synagogue, when he will put them in order with the rest of the blessings, he has the authority. Indeed, if he should immediately recite the blessing concerning hand-washing and "He who created," there are those who say that he needs to say immediately after it, "The soul my God," until "Blessed are you, Lord, who returns souls to lifeless bodies," since it is in tandem with the blessing "He who created," and subsequently does not open with "Blessed." But there are those who say that he does not need to say immediately after it, "The soul my God," until "Blessed are you, Lord, who returns souls to lifeless bodies," since it is in tandem with the blessing "He who created," and subsequently does not open with "Blessed." But there are those who say that he does not need to say immediately after it. The reason that it does not open with "Blessed," because it is a thanksgiving blessing, like the rain blessing, which does not open with "Blessed." This is logical, for it is proven in Brachot, in the chapter "One Who Sees," which says, "When he awakens from his sleep, let him say, 'The soul my God.'" Later it says thus, "When he washes his hands, let him say, concerning hand-washing." Thus did Rambam order them, may his memory be a blessing. The entire day, when he performs his needs, there are those who say that for urination he recites the blessing, He who created, and for bowel movements, concerning hand-washing. And there are those who say whether bowel movements or urination, he recites the concerning hand-washing blessing and He who created. For since he needs to say He who created, which is a subject of holiness, he needs to recite the blessing concerning hand-washing. All the more so if he wishes to study after bowel movements, for he needs to say concerning hand-washing. My master, my father the Rosh, may the memory of his righteousness be a blessing, would not recite the blessing even for bowel movements, only He who created, even when he wished to study, if it was not when he performed his needs and wiped, or urinated and wiped himself off, and would pray immediately after it. Then he would recite the blessing concerning hand-washing. And this is his language, which he wrote in response to a question. If he performed his needs and wiped, or it was the minors who wiped off, and wishes to pray, he should rinse his hands and recite the blessing concerning hand-washing. But the entire day, when he performs his needs or urinates, even if he wishes to study, he need not recite the blessing concerning hand-washing, but rather He who created. Immediately after hand-washing, he should wrap himself in tzitzit while standing. The Geonim explained the order of wrapping as being like that of the Ishmaelites, which is complete wrapping. The master of the Etur wrote that we do not require such an extent, but rather like the way people who wear coverings and engage in their work, sometimes with a covered head and sometimes with an uncovered head. The manner of wrapping, its width is a man's height. He places 2 tzitzit before him and 2 tzitzit behind him, so that he is surrounded with mitzvot, and he covers his head in order that he not be of uncovered head. He should recite the blessing to be wrapped in tzitzit. It is called a tzitzit on account of the threads which separate from it, as is written, He took me by the tzitzit on my head. Accordingly, he needs to separate them one from another. He should truly intend with his wrapping that God commanded him to wrap in order that he be reminded to perform all of his commandments. He should examine the tzitzit prior to this, that they be complete. For if one of them had been ruined, it is a vain blessing. And should he wish to wrap himself immediately upon arising, in order that he not walk 4 cubits without a tzitzit, or where he has a tzitzit on his garment, he is able to don it immediately without a blessing. And when he washes his hands, he should clutch the tzitzit and recite the blessing to wrap in a tzitzit. Or, if he should wrap himself afterward in another tallit, he should recite the blessing over it, and intend to also exempt that which he has already put on. If he has many garments of 4 corners, they are all subject to tzitzit. If he wears them simultaneously, one blessing is sufficient for them. If he makes a division between them, he needs to recite a blessing on every single one. Therefore, one who is accustomed to wrapping in the synagogue in a large tallit needs to recite a blessing over it, even though he recited a blessing over the smaller tallit which he had already put on. If he removed his talit and did not have it in mind to put it on immediately, when he goes back and puts it on immediately, when he goes back and puts it on, he needs to recite a blessing. But if he had it in mind to put it on immediately, such as where he removed it in order to go into the bathroom, in such a case I am in doubt as to whether he needs to recite a blessing, for there is a basis for interpreting either way. For it is possible to say that since we have derived all of the instruction from tefillin, and for tefillin, every time that one handles them he recites a blessing, meaning if they moved from their position and he handles them to return them to their position, if so, all the more so here should he recite a blessing. However, it is possible to say that it is different there, for they moved from their position, and he did not know that they were not in their position. But if he moved them from their position knowingly to return them immediately, there too he would not need to recite a blessing. My opinion inclines to this. One who sleeps in his talit at night does not need to recite a blessing on it in the morning. All types of garments are under the obligation of tzitzit, and tzitzit of wool or flax fulfill for all types. But the rest of the types, such as those of silk or cotton, do not fulfill the obligation unless the tzitzit will be of the talit's type. The Rambam wrote that it is required to make the tzitzit the color of the wool. If it is red, the tzitzit should be made red, and if it is green, the tzitzit should be made green. And Rashi explained similarly, but Rabbi Yitzhak explained that it is not required. In the small book of mitzvot he wrote, however, it is correct to take care not to make flaxen tzitzit with that of silk. Even though the Geonim and Rabbeinu Tam forbid making even tzitzit of flax on a talit of flax, Rabbeinu Shlomo and Rav Alfas permitted, and with this did my master, my father the Rosh, his memory be pious and a blessing, agreed. A talit which does not have 4 corners is exempt. One which has more than 4 corners is obligated, and one makes 4 tzitzit for it on 4 of its corners. If it has 4, and he cut one diagonally, making it 2, or lifts its corners and sews them in such a way that no corner remains on it, it is not thereby exempted. That of a cloth whose corners are of hide is obligated. That of a hide whose corners are of cloth is exempt. If it had 3 corners, and he made them 3 tzitzit, and then went back and made it a 4th corner, and also made it a tzitzit, it is invalid. If it was square and he folded it, the Rambam, may his memory be a blessing, wrote, one does not place its tzitzit on its corners when folded, unless he sewed it all, even from one direction. But from the language of my teacher, my father the Rosh, his memory be a blessing, it seems that it is obligated even if he did not sew it at all. If it had 4 tzitzit on its 4 corners, and he made it another later and cut the former, the latter are kosher. The Rambam, his memory be a blessing, wrote, placing tzitzit on tzitzit. If it was intended to nullify the former, he cuts the former and it is kosher. But if it was intended to add, even if he cut one of the 2 of them, it is disqualified. And my teacher, my father the Rosh, his memory be a blessing, did not differ. The mitzvah of tzitzit in the time when tehelet existed. Its mitzvah was to take 2 doubled threads of dyed wool and 2 doubled threads of white wool or of flax, which would be spun for the purpose of tzitzit. Had they not been spun for that purpose, they are unusable. And it is required that they be interwoven. Their length, doubled, should be 3 handbreadths of 4 fingers, with the thumb in each handbreadth. And if he wishes to add to its length, he may add. One of the threads should be of longer length, in order that he may wrap the fringe in it. Had he made it from thorns, meaning from the threads which are hanging on a sheet like a kind of thorn, which one customarily cuts off, or from threads, meaning the threads which extrude from the garment to sew, or from the threads which extrude from the edge of the garment, it is unusable. Had he made it from stolen wool, it is unusable. One who bows down to a beast, its wool is unusable for tzitzit. But one who bows down to planted flax, it is fit for tzitzit. He should make a perforation in the talit within 3 fingers of the corner, lengthwise, and a distance from the corner in the measure from the thumb knuckle to the end of the nail. That which fills and above, up to 3 fingers from the corner, is the place for tzitzit. And had the distance from the corner been the space occupied by the thumb knuckle, and he severed it from the woof threads to the point where there did not remain the measure from the corner, it is fit for use. In any case, it is well to make a hem on the edge of the cloth, so that he not sever it. Within the width of the garment there is no set measure, only that he should not put it on the threads that one makes on the edge of the garment. Baal wrote that there is no upward measure. If he desires, he may add as he wishes. The Rabbi Yitzhak explained that he may add up to 8 doubled, which are 16, but no more. He should cut off the ends of the threads and insert them into the corner piece and double them over, at which point their length should be 12 fingers, which is the set length of tzitzit. He should take 4 threads from one side and 4 from the other side, and tie 2 times one atop the other. Next, he should wrap the long thread around the 7. In the time when the Tehelet existed, he was required to take great care with the wrapping, making 7 sections as they are described in the Gemara. At the present, when we do not have Tehelet, one does not make it of mixed species, but rather of wool and wool, or flax and flax. There is also no need to take great care concerning the sections. Rambam, may his memory be a blessing, wrote, "Our practice is to wrap the sections in it in the same manner which one wraps in Techelet. My master, my father the Rosh, may his memory be a blessing, would not take such great care." The Baal HaTurim wrote that nowadays one does not need to take such great care concerning wrapping, and even if he wrapped the majority of it, or only wrapped one section in it, it is fit for use. Rather, the essence of its mitzvah is that he should wrap until the wrapping with the knot the width of a thumb. He ties 2 times and goes back and wraps. Thus should he do until he completes 5 knots with 4 wrappings between them. The entire wrapping should be a handbreadth in width, and the remainder 2 handbreadths. Further, there are other customs concerning its making, but that which I have written is the essence. He should be careful to cut the ends of the threads, making them 8 prior to wrapping. For if he wrapped them and afterward cut the ends of the threads, it is unusable. But if he inserted them into the corner and subsequently cut them, it is usable. It is only that he should cut them before wrapping. If he cut short all of its threads, yet there remains enough of them for looping, it is fit for use, provided that he leave enough that he can loop them all together, for this is more than enough looping for each one alone. Rashi explained that we require enough for looping from the corner piece. Rabbi Yitzhak explained, even if the entire corner piece is cut off and only enough remains for looping from the fringe, it is fit for use. If there does not remain enough of them for looping, even one thread, where it was cut entirely, it is unusable. Therefore, when everyone is doubled in 2, if he cut short the ends of 2, it is unusable, lest one thread be cut. But if the end of one was cut, it is fit for use. There are those who says that if 3 threads were cut short, it is unusable, even if there remained enough of them for looping. But if 2 were cut short, it is fit for use if there remains enough for looping. Accordingly, even if 2 ends were cut short, it is fit for use if they have enough for looping, up to the point where they cut 3. My teacher, my father, the Rosh, may his memory be a blessing, agreed with the first line of reasoning. The 4 tzitzit impede one another, so that the entire time that all 4 are not present, it is not fringed according to its legal prescription, and one who goes out into the public domain on Shabbat is liable for a sin offering. But if it has all 4, it is permissible to go out into the public domain in it, even though nowadays we do not have the Tehelet. If a non-Jew made it, it is unusable, but a woman is fit to make it. One who borrows a talit from his associate is exempt from affixing tzitzit to the entire 30 days. After 30 days, he is obligated. It is a question he is obligated to recite a blessing over its tzitzit immediately. There are those who say that he does not recite a blessing over it until after 30 days. It is unclear to my teacher, my father, the Rosh, may his memory be a blessing. Making use of his associate's talit without his knowledge and reciting a blessing over it. There are those who say that it is permissible, for it does well for a person to fulfill a mitzvah with his property. It is only that he should fold it if he found it folded. A jointly held talit is liable for tzitzit. It is permissible to remove tzitzit from one talit and place them on another, but he cannot take the corner piece as is, with the tzitzit, and sew it onto another garment. Had he hung the threads between 2 corner pieces and tied one corner piece according to its legal prescription and the other corner piece according to its legal prescription, and subsequently cut it in the middle and separated one from the other, it is unusable. Had the talit been torn within 3 fingers of the corner piece, he does not have the authority to sew it. Outside 3 fingers, he can sew it. The measurement by which a talit is made liable for tzitzit. Any in which a minor of 9 years of age is able to cover his head and the majority in it, and an adult is not ashamed to go out and about in it in the marketplace. But if the minor's head and the majority is not covered in it, even though an adult goes out and about in it in the marketplace, it is exempt. A blind man is obligated for tzitzit, but women and slaves are exempt. Hermaphrodites and androgynous persons are obligated out of doubt. Rambam wrote, "They wrap themselves without a blessing." He goes on, according to his method, explaining that women cannot recite a blessing over something for which they are exempt. But Rabbeinu Tam wrote that they may recite a blessing, even though they are exempt, but it is better that they not recite a blessing. A minor who knows how to wrap himself, his father is required to buy tzitzit for him, to teach him. Night is not the time for tzitzit. There are those who say that anything which he wears at night is exempt, even if it is particular to the day, and what he wears during the day is liable, even if it is particular to the night. And so wrote Rambam. It is permissible to wear tzitzit at night. It is only that he should not recite a blessing. So from what time does he recite a blessing over it in the morning? From when he can recognize between the tehelet which is in it and the white which is in it. And my teacher, my father, may his memory be a blessing, explained that this limits only that covering particular to the night, for it is exempt even if he wears it during the day. Whereas covering particular to the day or to day and night is liable even if he wears it at night, and should recite a blessing over it. Sheets. Even though a person sleeps in them in the morning, the essence of their use is at night, and night covering is out of dignity. The obligation of tzitzit is only for a talit which he desires to wear, but what he does not wish to wear is exempt. Therefore, he does not recite a blessing over its making, who sanctified us with his mitzvot and commanded us to make tzitzit. For the only mitzvah for its making is that of its wearing. One who purchases a fringed talit from a Jew or from a non-Jewish trader, it is fit for use, but if he purchased it from a non-Jew who is not a trader, it is unusable. One does not sell a fringed talit to a non-Jew. Tzitzit do not have inherent sanctity, for their mitzvah is in their use, and it is possible to throw them away or enter the bathroom in them. And it seems that even if he is currently engaged with their mitzvah, it is permissible to have sexual relations in them. But in the Sheiltot, in the section Shel Alecha, he wrote that it is prohibited for Jews to use things that were made to fulfill the obligation of a mitzvah, such as the threads affixed to a talit to tie some trifle. Alternatively, a hoshana for its scent, or to eat an etrog, whose mitzvah is to eat it, which we derive from blood, for the scripture stated, "Pour out." With the thing you used to pour, you shall cover it. For one should not cover with his feet, in order that mitzvot not be thereby degraded. For it is specifically the use of the mitzvah, for after we have used them, we may dispose of them. Yet it is possible to differ, as it is not akin to blood, for it is different in that case. When he covers with the foot, he performs the mitzvah in a degrading fashion, which is not the case here. So too did the Rambam, may his memory be a blessing, wrote, "It is permissible to enter a bathroom in tzitzit, or a bathhouse. Should his tzitzit be rent, he may throw them into the trash heap if he wishes, but it is well to be strict. One who makes tzitzit for himself recites the Shechi Chayanu blessing. Upon wrapping himself in it, he recites the blessing to wrap oneself in tzitzit. One who walks in the cemetery needs to lift his tzitzit, in order that it not be dragged through the cemetery, as it is in Brachot. Rabbi Hia and Rabbi Yonatan were walking among graves. Rabbi Yonatan's blue wool alighted upon graves. He said to him, "Raise it, lest they say, 'Tomorrow they come among us, yet at present they revile us,'" meaning that it appears that he reviles that they are not able to uphold the mitzvot. Learn from this that it is permissible to walk in the cemetery in clothing which contains tzitzit, provided that he takes care to raise them. And the master Rabbeinu Yonah wrote, specifically in their days, when there were 4 corners on all their clothing, where it is impossible that he removes his clothing when he walks to the cemetery, but we, who do not intend them as clothing, but rather as a mitzvah, it is prohibited on account of rebuking the poor. Even though a person is not obligated to purchase a 4-cornered talit in order to obligate himself for tzitzit, precisely where he wishes to be covered with a talit of 4 corners, he is liable to put tzitzit on it. In any case, it is well and right for every person to take care and hasten in regard to the mitzvah of tzitzit, that he will have a small fringed garment which he will wear all day. For the essence of its mitzvah is in remembering the mitzvot, and in every hour and in every moment he therefore requires a physical representation of the thing, like a person who cautions his fellow about one matter, where he ties a knot on his belt in order that he remember it. Accordingly, there are 5 knots, corresponding to the 5 books of the Torah, and 4 corner pieces, where for every side to which he turns, he will remember. And greater is the punishment at this time for one who nullifies than what the punishment was at the time when the Tehelit was in existence. For at that time it was not so easy to find, and not everyone was able to pursue it, which is not so now. Even one who is not able to wrap himself the entire day needs to take care with it at the time of prayer. The Baal HaTurim wrote, as for those who gather up the tzitzit at the time of the recitation of the Shema and place on the eyes, it is possible that they are accustomed to do so because of "you shall see them," on account of them being under his garments. Great is the mitzvah of tzitzit, for it is weighed against all of the mitzvot, as "you shall see it, and you shall remember all the mitzvot of the Lord" is written. Tzitzit adds up to 600, and 8 threads and 5 knots are 13, which is 613. Even though it is written lacking a yud, he explains in the Tanhuma 3 times tzitzit is written in the section concerning tzitzit, yet one of them is le tzitzit, whereby lam is sufficient for all of them, and it fills out the counting. Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai says, anyone who had taken care concerning the mitzvah of tzitzit is well accounted for and sees the face of the Shekhinah. Here, "you shall see it" is written, and elsewhere, "of the Lord your God you shall see, and him shall you serve." Resh Lakish said, anyone who had taken care concerning the mitzvah of tzitzit is well accounted, for 2,800 servants shall attend him, as 10 men from nations of every tongue will take hold. They will take hold of every Jew by a corner of his cloak. And of anyone who nullifies the mitzvah of tzitzit is said, so that it seizes the corners of the earth, etc. At every moment let your clothes be white. This is the mitzvah of tzitzit, and your head never lack ointment. This is the mitzvah of tefillin. Rabbi Eliezer ben Yakov says, one who has tefillin on his head and on his arm, and a mezuzah on his entrance, and tzitzit on his garment, is assured that he will not sin, as a 3-fold cord is not readily broken, is stated. And it states, the angel of the Lord camps around those who fear him and rescues them. After he has wrapped himself in tzitzit, he immediately puts on tefillin in order that they be present for him at the time of the recitation of the Shema and tefillah. For Rabbi Yochanan said, one who wishes to accept the yoke of God's sovereignty upon himself in toto should relieve himself, rinse his hands, put on tefillin, and engage in the recitation of the Shema and tefillah. And Ula said, anyone who engages in the recitation of the Shema without tefillin is as if he is giving false testimony against himself. Rabbi Hiya bar Abba said in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, it is as if he brought a burnt offering without a meal offering, a sacrifice without libation. But if he relieved himself, rinsed his hands, put on tefillin, and engaged in the recitation of the Shema and Tefillah, it is as if he built an altar and brought all the sacrifices onto it, as, "I wash my hands in cleanness and walk about your altar, Lord," is stated.
And I observed of my lord, my father the Rosh, may his memory be for a blessing, that he would be punctilious about putting them on when going through the blessings, and would recite them one after the other until "Who crowns Israel in glory," and thereafter would put them on and recite the blessing "Who crowns Israel in glory," since the tefillin are called glory, as "put on your headdress" is stated, and are called tefillin, the terminology of Pelilah, for they are a sign and witnesses for all we see. For the Shekhinah alights upon us, as, "And all the peoples of the earth will see that the Lord's name is proclaimed over you," is written. We have expounded, these are the head tefillin. He should have the intention when putting them on that God commanded us to insert these 4 sections in which there are the unification of your name and the exodus from Egypt on the arm facing the heart and on his head facing the brain, in order that he be reminded of the exodus from Egypt on account of miracles and wonders which he performed on our behalf. For they instruct about his unity, that he is alone in his universe and is in possession of the power and the governance on high and below, to do with them according to his will. He should put on that of the hand first, and recite the blessing, "Who sanctified us with his mitzvot, and commanded us to put on tefillin," and afterward that of the head, reciting the blessing, "Who sanctified us with his mitzvot, and commanded us concerning the mitzvah of tefillin." Even though Rav Alphus ruled that one recites only one blessing over them both, namely, to put on, lest he should make a verbal interruption between them when he recites the blessing for the head concerning the mitzvah of tefillin, so too did Rashi and many of the commentators write. And my lord, my father the Rosh, may his memory be for a blessing, agreed that it is acceptable to recite 2 blessings, even with no interruption. But if he interrupted verbally, he goes back and recites the blessing over that of the head, to put on, and also concerning the mitzvah of tefillin. He recites the blessing over them from the moment that he begins to put them on until the moment that he fastens them on his head and on his arm. He should not interrupt between them to speak, even to answer, "Amen, may his exalted name be sanctified," or the Kedusha. If he spoke, it is a transgression accounted to him, and he needs to go back and recite the blessing as explained. I observed, my lord, my father the Rosh, may his memory be for a blessing, that immediately after he tied that of the hand on his arm, he would situate that of the head before he would wrap the strap around his arm. For he would say, since the second blessing is also effective for that of the hand. And from this reason, one does not interrupt between them. It is advisable to diminish the interruption in any way possible. But the wrapping around the arm is not based on the mitzvah. Therefore, it is best to delay until after he puts on that of the head. And any time that he puts them on during the day, he recites a blessing. Even if they loosen from their place and he handles them to return them to their place, he needs to recite a blessing. If he has only the one, whether that of the head or that of the hand, he puts it on and recites the blessing over it, for every single mitzvah is for its own sake. And he recites a blessing on that of the hand alone, 1, and on that of the head alone, 2. Even if he has 2, yet has any sort of thing preventing, where he is not able to put both of them on, such as where he needs to go out on the road and is not able to do them in tandem, he may put one of them on, for neither prevents the other. The area of placement of that of the hand is on the left arm, on the thickest part of the flesh, which is in the section between the forearm and the shoulder. He should incline it slightly to the right side, in order that when he bends his arm, it will be facing his heart. There should not be anything interposed between them and his flesh. A left-handed man, his right hand places on his left, which is everyone's right. The master Rabbi Yehiel of Paris explained it is specifically where he does all of his work with his left. But if he writes with his right, even though the rest of his work with his left, its ruling is like every person. One who is ambidextrous places on the left every person. He should wrap the strap around his arm until he reaches the middle finger, and wrap it around it 3 times. The area of the head tefillin is from the beginning of the roots of his forehead hair until the end of the area where the brain of an infant pulsates, which is the entire height of the head. It is required that the knot be behind the head above the lower edge of the skull, but not below the neck. For it should be truly facing the neck, aligned with the middle of the head, and should not incline toward the side of the face in this direction or that. And it is required that it be his ornament, that the place where it appears is the form of a dalet, on the exterior side, and not on the head side. He should also take care that the straps which wind around his head, that they not become reversed, in order that they be ornamental on the exterior, meaning the white is toward the hair, which is smoother, and the black color recognizable on the exterior. He should drape the straps so that they hang before him, reaching on the right until the navel, and on the left until the breast. Some say that of the right side until the circumcision, and that of the left until the navel. The measure of their width is the length of a hair, but if he lessened or added, it does not abrogate. He should handle them every hour. He should handle that of the hand first, and afterward that of the head. When he removes them, he should remove that of the head first, and put it in its bag, and afterward remove that of the hand, and put it on top of them, so that when he comes to put them on, that of the hand will come out first, and he can put it on. He should not recite the blessing, who sanctified us with his mitzvot, and commanded us to keep his laws when he removes them. For the halakha is not according to the Westerners, who would recite the blessing to keep his laws at the time of their removal. For they hold that night is not the time for tefillin, and explain it, this institution shall be kept at its set time from day to day. For they explain days, but not nights. But we have established for ourselves that night is time for tefillin. Therefore, one does not recite the blessing even when he removes them at night. Even on Shabbat Eve, at twilight, when one needs to remove them, one does not recite the blessing there, for he has to remove them at that time. It is not kept. We learn it rather, because it is written of them, "It shall be a sign on your hand." And Shabbat and Yom Tov do not require a sign. Therefore, one does not recite a blessing at all. And I have seen written in the name of Rav Chai Gaon that he has permission if he wishes to recite a blessing. Yet I am amazed, for certainly where he is not obligated to recite a blessing, if he does so, it is a vain blessing. The time of their dawning in the morning is from when he can see a colleague who is frequently with him a bit at a distance of 4 cubits and can recognize him. Despite the fact that we have established for ourselves that night is time for tefillin, nevertheless, one does not instruct such. Such is the instance of where they were on his head when darkness fell, that he does not need to remove them. But at the outset, one does not don them prior to this time. But if he needs to walk on the road, he can put them on before this time without a blessing, and when their time arrives, he should handle them and recite the blessing. And the Rav Peretz wrote, "Since we established for ourselves that night is the time for tefillin, it is only that one does not put them on at night on account of a decree, lest he sleep in them. One who wishes to go out on the road may put them on before their time and recite a blessing over them immediately. My lord, my father the Rosh, may his memory be a blessing, did not write so. If he should come onto the road with tefillin on his head, when the sun sets on him, he should place his hand on them until he reaches his house. But if there is a house close to the wall where he stores them, he removes them and deposits them there. Had he been sitting in the Beit Midrash with tefillin on his head, and the day was meanwhile sanctified, he places his hand over them until he reaches his home. Shabbat and Yom Tov are not the time for tefillin. There is cause to have doubts whether its intermediate non-sacred day is the time for tefillin, and one puts them on without a blessing. But my lord, my father the Rosh, may his memory be a blessing, would put them on and recite a blessing over them. The mitzvah of tefillin is that he should write the 4 sections, which are, consecrate to me every firstborn, up to, at its set time from year to year. And when he has brought you out, up to, with a mighty hand the Lord freed us from Egypt.
And the section of the Shema up to, and in your gates. And the section, if then you keep, up to, over the earth. Each and every one on its own parchment. He should write them boldly, and in an ink whose writing is astonishing, so that every single letter is surrounded by ornamented parchment as is appropriate, and not lacking even the tail of a yud. It is required that he write with his right, even if he is ambidextrous. And if he is left-handed, his left hand is his right. It is not necessary to make guidelines on every single line, but if he wishes to do so, he has permission. But someone who does not know how to make a straight line, it is well for him to make guidelines to make the inscription straight. He should write on parchment which is manufactured for the purpose of tefillin, on the flesh side. Had he not written on the parchment, or had it not been manufactured for that purpose, or had he written on the hair side, it is unusable. If a Gentile had manufactured it, the Rambam wrote that it is unusable, even if a Jew told him to make it for that purpose. And my lord, my father the Rosh, may his memory be a blessing, considered it kosher if a Jew stands over him and said to him, make it for the purpose of tefillin. The parchment may be of the hide of a domesticated animal, a wild animal, or a ritually pure fowl, even from those of a carcass or a killed animal, but not from the hide of a ritually impure domesticated animal, wild animal, or fowl, nor from a fish, even if it is ritually pure. It should be complete, where it should have no perforation, for the ink will not pass over it. But if after it was written it was perforated inside the letter, it is kosher. Some say that even if its entire interior was perforated. In the Yerushalmi, the meaning is that its interior also requires being surrounded by parchment. Therefore, if the entire interior is perforated, it is unusable. If the interior leg of a hay is perforated, even if all that remains of it is an infinitesimal part, it is kosher. If the right leg was perforated, if a full small letter remains, it is kosher, and if not, it is unusable. If one of the letters is cut off, if a child neither wise nor foolish knows how to read it, it is kosher, and if not, unusable. It is written in the smach that if one drop of ink fell prior to the letter being finished, and the letter was not recognizable, and afterward the ink was lifted up, or was not surrounded by parchment from the outset, it is unusable, because it is like engraving. But if it was already made according to its correction, and ink fell on it, he can lift it up. And my lord, my father the Rosh, may his memory be a blessing, declared unusable also in this instance, and so did he write in Sefer Terumah. He wrote further that if he made a resh in the form of a dalet, that he cannot scrape it off and correct it, for it is like engraving. Likewise, my lord, my father the Rosh, may his memory be a blessing, wrote, in any case, an open letter whose opening attached itself and became closed, it is ineffectual to scrape off the adherence and to open it. But concerning an adherence between one letter and another, he wrote that it is permissible. At the beginning of the writing, he should say, I am writing for the sake of the sanctity of tefillin. It is not sufficient that he thinks so in his heart. In addition to this, he needs to write all of the instances of God's name for the sake of the sanctification of the name. It is required to be punctilious about deficiencies and superfluities, for if he subtracted or added one letter to them, it is unusable, resulting in the one putting them on reciting a vain blessing each day, and is also living every day without the mitzvah of tefillin, resulting in great punishment for the scribe. Subsequently, one engaged in the writing of tefillin and their correction needs to be exceedingly God-fearing and apprehensive about speaking God's name. May he be blessed.
After writing it, he shall read every single section well, with careful thought and precision, 2 and 3 times. He should go back and read it before he puts it into its casing. If he added 1 letter, it has a correction, for he may scrape it off. But if he omitted, it does not have a correction, for one does not revise to fill in. For if so, they would be written not according to their order. And they stated in the Mechilta, had he written them not according to their order, he should hide them away. He needs to take great care in the correction of the body of the letters, that no letter touches its neighbor. And if it touches, he should scrape it off and separate them one from the other. It is required that he write out of a written copy, and he should recite every single letter before he writes it. However, since the scribes are accustomed to these 4 sections, and they are fluent in them, they may write them by memory, not out of a written copy. And he wrote in the smock that it is necessary to leave blank space above and blank space below sufficient for binding rings, which is half a fingernail. My lord, my father the Rosh, may his memory be a blessing, wrote that it is only necessary to leave blank space above sufficient for the Lamed's roof, and below in the measure of the length of the Kaf and the Nun. But at their beginning and at their end, it is not necessary to leave any at all. He should make equal lines, so that one should not be indented and another over the line ending, and he should not write 3 letters past the end of the line. He should make each of its sections open, which is where he leaves a blank space at the end of the line sufficient for 3 words of 3 letters, or at the beginning, except for the final section, which he should make closed. He should make 4 chambers from 1 skin, from the skin of a ritually pure domesticated animal, wild animal, or fowl, even if from those of a carcass or one torn apart. The Rambam wrote that their manufacture need not be for this purpose. But my lord, my father the Rosh, may his memory be a blessing, wrote that it is required that their manufacture be for this purpose, and so too wrote Rav Kohen Tzedek. In Sefer HaTeruma it is written that he can make them from parchment, for that is also called skin, or from an embryo skin, despite the fact that it is considered like flesh as concerns ritual impurity. They should be square and black. But if he made them in another color, they are kosher. But the essence of their mitzvah is to be black. A crevice should be recognizable between one chamber and another. Thus shall he make it. He shall take a wooden frame, which is totally square, whose diagonal length is equal in length and width. The measure is not explicit in the Talmud concerning the length and width of the chamber cube, but rather in the book Shemosha Haraba it wrote that the 4 chambers need be 2 fingers by 2 fingers. This is customary only when he makes the length and the width of the chambers without measure, as well as their height. He carves 3 crevices in the frame whose depth is sufficient for the width of the sections, in order that the crevice reach between one chamber and another up to the area of the sewing. He takes thin hide from a ritually pure domesticated beast or wild animal, softening and boiling it in water and placing it on the frame and forcing it into the crevices until it dries and hardens. While it is still wet, he makes the form of a shin protrude from the flaps of hide, one from its right and one from its left. That of its left is the right of one reading, meaning one standing opposite it shall make 4 crowns. That of its right he shall make 3 crowns. After the hide has dried and hardened well on the frame, he removes the frame, and it will remain in the form of 4 chambers. He should stretch the shins downward until it reaches the shin crevice, and its bottom until the area of the sewing. He shall place the length of the hide of the frame from one side and double it over on the chambers and sew it, with the hide remaining from the 3 sides of the chamber, crossing from every side. It is called tetura. With that hide, whose length he stretched from one side, he shall make the Mahabharata. How? He shall cut the Mahabharata from 2 sides, so that its width is not like that of the tetura, in order that the cube of the tetura be recognizable.
Through that ma'abarata passes the strap, and on that account it is called a ma'abarata, for the strap passes through it from this side to that. And some take thick, strong hide, double it over into two, and cut the upper fold a square perforation, in accordance with the square of the chambers, and press the chambers into it. That thin hide of the chambers which remains he stretches from the four directions, this way and that, between two of the folds of thick hide, and sews it with them. It is called a tetura. From that thick hide one also makes the ma'abarata. It is well to make it so, for on account of it being thick and strong, the tefillin compartment will endure. He sews it and squares it off. Concerning the tefillin of the hand, he should make a single frame of wood, whose length is like the width of the sections, and take thin hide from a ritually pure domesticated beast or wild animal, manufactured for that purpose, softening it and boiling it in water, and placing it on the frame until it is dried. Afterward he removes the frame, and the finished chamber remains, and he makes the tetura and ma'abarata in the same manner he made that of the head. He should roll each section from its end to its beginning. He should wrap around every section the hair of a ritually pure domesticated animal. It is acceptable to wrap a small parchment around each section before one puts it into the chamber. It appears also in the book Shemosh Arba that was mentioned earlier. The Rambam declared it unusable if he wrapped parchment or a cover around it, but it did not appear so to my lord my father the Rosh, may his memory be a blessing, to so disqualify them. He shall place every single section in a chamber so that it is upright, in the same manner that one stands a Torah scroll in an ark. But if he wrote all four sections on one parchment, they are kosher, even if there is no space between them. It is only that there should be thread or string between each and every chamber. As for that of the hand, he writes the four sections which he wrote for that of the head on one parchment, and rolls them from their end to their beginning, and wraps a hair on them and puts them in their chambers. But if he wrote them on four parchments and placed them in one chamber, he has fulfilled his obligation, and does not need to join them together. If he plated the chambers with gold, or made them from the hide of a ritually unfit domesticated animal, it is unusable. After he has placed them into the chambers, he doubles over the hide whose length he placed on one side to make the tetura and the ma'abarata, as has been explained. After he has squared off the tetura, its length like its width, he shall sew it with the sinew of a ritually pure animal with a square needle. He shall make 3 stitches on every side, so that there will be, all told, 12 stitches. The stitching thread should wind around from 2 directions. He shall cross over the stitching thread between each and every chamber. If the stitching breaks in 3 places, he needs to sew another time. Afterwards, he inserts the strap through the ma'abarata and makes a tefillin knot, which will be the measure of the straps around his head. He should do so there, in the manner where it will sit in its place, as I have explained above. He should make it in the form of a dalet, and so too shall he do for that of the hand. He shall double over the hide to make the tetura and the ma'abarata, and make it square, its stitching and with its diagonal, with the number of threads 3 to each side, as with that of the head. He shall pass the strap through the ma'abarata, and make a knot, so that the strap passes through it to draw it together on his arm. At the end of the strap, at the knot, he should make a small knot in the form of a yud, to complete the letters of Shaddai, with the shin, which are on the chambers of the head, and the dalet of the knot. Some cut the end of the strap at the knot in the form of a yud. It is customary to cover over the chamber of the hand over the thickness of the arm. One does so because the tefillin of the hand are high and narrow, and one puts it under the clothing, and they move about under the clothing and become ruined. Therefore, we are accustomed to pass the strap over them to strengthen them. If the hide of 2 of the compartments of the head casing, one next to the other, becomes ruined, If the tefillin are new, they are unusable, but if they are old, they are kosher the entire time that the hide covering the casing lasts. Which are new? The whole time that, had one pulled on them by the hide of the straps, the casing flattens and opens, it is called new. But any time that they do not open when one pulls on their hide, they are called old. Had two become ruined, which were not one next to the other, such as the first and the third, they are kosher, even if they are new. Had three of the compartments become ruined, they are in any case unusable. The Rambam wrote likewise on the topic of the stitching. Had two of the stitches broken, one next to the other, or three, even if they were not one next to the other, in new ones they are unusable, in old ones they are kosher the entire time that their tying endures, meaning the hide of the compartments. The strap's hide is required to be from the hide of a ritually pure domesticated beast, wild beast or fowl, and manufactured for that purpose, and should be black on the exterior, but may be any color save red on the interior. In Sefer HaTerumah, he wrote that they must be blackened by a Jew for the purpose of tefillin, but not blackened by a Gentile. The Rambam wrote that if he does not make the compartments black, he may make the straps the color of the compartments. If the strap which encircles the head or arm is broken, they do not have any repair, not by knotting nor by sewing. But that which hangs from it, and that which he ties around the arm, knotting or sewing, does not render them unusable. The order of their placement in the compartments, according to Rashi, consecrate is on the left of the one placing, in the outer compartment. After it, and when he has brought you out, is in the second compartment. Shema is in the third compartment. And in the fourth compartment, which is the outer one on his right, if then you keep. According to Rabbeinu Tam, the order is consecrate on the left, and after it in the second compartment, and when he has brought you out. In the third, if then you keep. In the fourth, which is the outer one, Shema.
An indicator of this is that they should be together, with the two shins, namely consecrate and Shema, on the exterior, next to the shins on the compartments. So too is the order for that of the hand, the master as he has it, and the master as he has it. However, even according to Rabbeinu Tam, it is required to write them in the order that they are written in the Torah, which is consecrate, and when he brought you out, Shema, and if then you keep, as is taught. If he wrote them not according to their order, he should hide it away, meaning not according to the order they are written in the Torah. Therefore, that of the hand, which is on one parchment, he should write consecrate, and when he brought you out, and leave a blank space for the section if then you keep, write Shema, and afterward write if then you keep. For the order of placement in the compartments of that of the hand and that of the head are the same.
Concerning this matter, a dispute erupted among the Gionim, some of them holding according to Rashi's words, and some of them holding according to Rabbeinu Tam's words. My master, my father the Rosh, may his memory be a blessing, wrote that since the greats of the world were divided over it, with the tefillin of these rendering unusable the tefillin of those, as was taught, he reversed their sections, meaning that one who juxtaposes one compartment with another, they are unusable. The sages have stated that there is space on the head on which to place two tefillin, and so too the arm. Therefore, a God-fearing person fulfills the obligation of both of them, and should make 2 pairs of tefillin, and should put 2 of them on, and intend that putting them on acts accordingly like a mental corrective, making a legal statement about them that I fulfill my obligation. The others are merely like straps. There is no issue here of you shall not add, for it is only considered a case of you shall not add when he makes 5 compartments. But he should not place 2 pairs in one bag, for one of them is non-sacral, and it is prohibited to put it in a tefillin bag. Rather, he should make 2 tefillin bags and make a mark on each one, in order that he not put this one in that one. So would my master, my father the Rosh, may his memory be a blessing, do. And his teacher, Rabbeinu Meir of Rothenburg, may his memory be a blessing. It is customary in the counting of the lines, according to the Kabbalah, to write that of the hand in 7 lines for each and every section, and for that of the head 4 lines. But if he changed, he has not rendered it unusable. These are the line beginnings of that of the hand. Vaydeber, et hayom, yotzim, latet, hag, hahu, torat. In the second section, Vahaya, rechem, v'seh, lemor, ki hiksha, behema, lot. The third, Shema, et, vahayu, lavavkecha, uvlechtecha, yadecha, mezuzot. And the fourth, Vahaya, uvkol nafshehem, va'achalta, Adonai bechem, asher Adonai, bein enechem, betecha, uvsharecha. These are the line beginnings of that of the head. Vaydeber, mizeh, hazot. The second, Vahaya, v'chol peter chamor, mimitzrayim, mibeit. Kol peter rechem, hazcharim. The third, Shema, nafshecha, levavchecha, kol. The fourth, Veheya, Esev, lo titen al beinechem. These are the letters with whose writing one must be exacting, for a person may easily err with them. The Aleph requires one to be careful with the point above it, which is in the form of a yud which crowns it. So too all the letters need to be a single form. Subsequently, all of them need to touch, such as the point of a shin and of an ayin, and that which follows the tzadi. One which is not so touching is rendered unacceptable, except for the leg of the hay and the kuf, which alone are not touching. If they are touching, they are rendered unacceptable. Bet. One needs to be careful with the crown of its back quarter so that it does not appear like a cuff. It is required that it have a small crown on its top left side. Dalet. One must be careful of the crown on its rear quarter so that it does not appear like a resh. Hey. It has a small crown above, at the end of its roof on the left side, such as is in the chapter Hachometz. What is the reason hay has a crown? Rashi explained, it has a small crown above at the end of its roof. But Rabbeinu Tam explained that it is dealing with the extrusion of its rear quarter, so that it is not rounded behind it. It is well to act according to both of their words. Chet. In the chapter Hachometz, a hump-like stroke on the roof of the chet. Rashi explained, it is like the form of a staff, where the left side is in the form of a staff, like this. But Rabbeinu Tam explained that there needs to be a raised part in the middle of its roof, like this, from the term camel's hump. One should take care not to lengthen the leg of the yud, so that it does not appear like a vav, and he should not shorten the leg of the vav, so that it does not appear like a yud. So too the leg of the zayin, he should not lengthen it, so that it does not appear like a simple nun, and he should not shorten the leg of the nun, so that it does not appear like a zayin. Rabbeinu Tam explained that the yud requires that the left head be bent below like this, as it is in the chapter Hachometz. For what reason is the head of the yud bent? In the Pesikta, the world to come was created through yud. Just as a yud has one point below, an allusion to the dead who descend to Gehenna, and one above, an allusion to their future rising. Accordingly, the yud has a crown above and is also bent below. The tet. Rabbeinu Tam used to say that its upper right side is bent down like this. And the kaf, one should take care to round off its backside so that it does not appear like a bet. The samech needs to round off in 3 directions so that it does not appear like a closed mem. And with any letter with which there is a doubt, we bring a young child, neither wise nor foolish. If he is able to read it, it is kosher. Which are the letters that one needs to crown? Rava stated, you find the entire alphabet of crowned letters in the tefillin, and these are they: Chatz vushai lamat in the consecrate section, Bafar hazam dikach kotat in the and when he brought you out section, Shatnez Gatz in the Shema and If Then You Keep section. And these are their explanations. Chatz, the Chet and Sadi of Chametz. Chet, 4 crowns, Sadi, 5 crowns. Us, of Vahayevusi, 3 crowns. The Shin of Asher, 5 crowns. The Yud of Li, 3 crowns. Lama of Laman, 4 crowns. Tav of Torat, 3 crowns. The Bet of Yeviacha, Per of Peter, 3 crowns. Chazam of Chazecherim, 3 crowns. The Aleph Chet of Yeshalcha, 4 crowns. The Dalet of Yad, the Kaf of Hiksha, the Chet of Lashalchenu, Cha of Yadcha, 3 crowns. The Tat of Letotafot, 5 crowns. Shatnez Gatz, the Shah of Shema, the Tat of Letotafot, the Nun of Navshecha, the Zaz of Mezuzot, the Gimel of Degancha, the Tzadeh of Haaretz, 3 crowns. But he did not have to mention Shatnez Gatz among the other crowns, for all of them are major crowns, but Shatnez Gatz are minor crowns, and in every instance they are the ones which require minor crowns. In the Shimusha Rabbah he disqualified if one of these crowns was lacking. But my master, my father the Rosh, may his memory be a blessing, wrote, "In our Gemara these crowns were not mentioned, and one should not at all consider disqualifying due to a lack of these crowns." And the Rambam did not write them in his composition, but wrote others. This is his language. One needs to take care with the crowns of the letters, which are like Zions on the letters, like they are written in a Torah scroll. And which are those letters which are crowned in these 4 sections? The first section contains 1, which is the closed mem of Mi'ayim, upon which are 3 crowns. The second section contains 5 letters, all of them Heys, and on every one of them are 4 Zions. The Hey of Venatna, the first Hey and the last Hey of Hiksha, the Hey of Vayaharog, and the Hey of Yadcha. The third section contains 5 letters. Which are they? The Kaf of Uvkomecha has 3 Zions upon it. The Kaf of Ukshartam has 3 Zions upon it. And Totaf of Tofet, every one of those 3 letters has 4 Zions. The fourth section has 5 letters. And which are they? The Pei of Vasafta has 3 Zions upon it. The Taf of Vasafta has 1 Zion upon it. Totaf of Totafot, each of the 3 of them has 4 Zions. All the crowned letters are 16, but if he did not make the crowns, or added and scraped them off, he does not consider it unusable. His language ends here. Therefore, it is well that he makes all of them, for it is not rendered unusable through a change, nor through addition, nor through diminishment. And what are those lacking or superfluous of which the Rambam wrote? The first section, Kadesh li kaf chol bechor is full. Bechozek is lacking. Hotzi is full. Yotzim is lacking a vav. Yeviacha is full. Vahayemori is lacking. Vahayevusi is full. La'avotecha is lacking a vav. Ha'avodah is lacking. Matzot is lacking. Hashevi is full. Matzot is full. Seor is lacking. Gevulecha is lacking. Ba'ur is full. Lot is full. Ulezicharon is full. Ainecha is full. Hotsecha is lacking a yud. Torat is full. Chachuka is lacking. Lemoada is full. The second section, Vahaya ki yavicha is lacking. Vlaavotecha is lacking a vav. Chamor is lacking. Bechor is full. Bechozek is lacking. Hoksei anu is full, vav and yud. Vayaharog is lacking. Bechor is full. Mi bechor is lacking. Va'ad bechor is full. Zoveach is lacking. V'chol bechor is full. Lot is full. Yadcha is written with a hey. Uletotafot is lacking the final vav. Ainecha is full. Bechozek is lacking. Hotze anu is full.
Vav and Yud. Third section, Shema. The ayin of Shema is large. The dalet of Echad is large. Ma'odecha is lacking. Levanecha is full. Vetecha is lacking the second Yud. Uvkumecha is a full Yud. Lot is full. Yarecha is lacking. Litofat is lacking 2 Yuds. Ainecha is full. Mezuzot is lacking the first Vav. Beitecha is lacking the second Yud. Uvesherecha is full. The fourth section. Vahaya ayam shemoa is lacking. Mitzvotai is with 1 Vav. Yoreh is full. Amalkash is full. Vateroshcha is lacking a Vav. V'hishtachavitem is full. Hatova is lacking. Notain is lacking. Otam is lacking. Lot is lacking. Litofat is lacking a second Vav. Ainechem is full. Vetecha is lacking the second Yud. Uvkumecha is a full Vav. Mezuzot is full. Beitecha is lacking the second Yud. Uvesherecha is full. Levotechem is lacking a Vav. Rabbeinu Tam disagrees concerning the third Litofat, saying that it also lacks 2 Vavs.
The great commandment of tefillin is that whoever puts them on prolongs his days. As it is said, the Lord will live on them. Rava said, everyone who puts on tefillin and wraps himself in a tzitzit and recites the Knesset and prays is assured that he is a son of the world. And Abaye said, I am the evening in him, and there is no fire of Gehenna that controls him. Rav Papa said, I am the evening in him, and all his sins are erased. And whoever does not put them on is a criminal of Israel in their body. Therefore, every person must be diligent in them. The commandment is to have them on him all day long, but because they require a clean body that does not smell of them, and he must not be distracted by them while they are on him, and no person can be careful about them. Therefore, they practiced not putting them on all day long, and from the time of the Knesset, every person must be careful about putting them on during the Knesset and prayer. A child who knows how to keep tefillin, his father must buy him tefillin to educate him. People with intestinal problems, women, and slaves are exempt, but on Sundays they are exempt. From now on, even new faces must come. Tisha B'Av is obligatory for them. The groom and his groomsmen and all the members of the wedding party are exempt from prayer and tefillin and are obligated to wear the kash. And the writers of books are tefillin and mezuzot and their tegirs and the tegirs of their tegirs. And all those engaged in the work of heaven are exempt from the kash, prayer, and tefillin, and from all the mitzvot. The Maimonides, who regrets that his mind is not correct, is exempt from them, because he cannot direct his mind so that he does not deviate from them. They were told in the Mechilta to remember between your eyes. From here, they said, he who puts on tefillin is like a reader of the Torah, and the reader of the Torah is exempt from tefillin. And Rav Shmuel Bar Hafni wrote, let it be known to you in a baraita that our rabbis, the elders of their Torah and their training, put on tefillin and bless them, and if it is not a duchubah, they do not bless them. And the owner of the ornament wrote, and it is clear to him that the reader of the Torah said, not in the Talmud, and it is not in the Gemara, my business on this matter. And there is no such division concerning the blessings of the Torah, as stated in the book of Debarak 14. It is a matter of law that Rava said that it is forbidden for a person to remove tefillin from his possession, and to raise his hand in the presence of a king. And Rabbi Yochanan said that he who removes tefillin before him, and who has not fixed them, to bind them in a manner that is pleasing to the disciples. Rava said that it is not permissible for those who remove tefillin, but for those who recite Torah, prophets, and writings. The Torah is 5 in the book of Genesis, 1 verse in the prophets, 5 in the book of Samuel, 1 verse in the writings, 5 in the book of Psalms, 1 verse in the Talmud. The younger Shmuel says, been 10 years old for reading, been 13 for mitzvot. Abaye said,
and he knew my interpretations in all of them. He needed tefillin and mezuzah, and he could not afford to buy both of them, the former tefillin. Tefillin that were written by a slave, a woman, a minor, a Gentile, or a Jewish apostate are invalid. And anyone who is disqualified from writing them is also disqualified with respect to any aspect of their repair or manufacture. If they were written by an epikoros, they must be burned. If they are found in the possession of an epikoros, and it is unknown whether he wrote them or not, they must be buried. If they are in the possession of a Gentile, they are valid. However, one may not purchase them from a Gentile, nor other sacred books, for more than their value. They may be purchased only from an expert, one who is knowledgeable about defective and extra letters.
If one purchased them from someone who is not an expert, and there are 2 or 3 bundles, one examines one tefillin, either the hand tefillin or the head tefillin, from the first bundle, and likewise from the second, and from the third, and from the fourth, and so on for all of them. If those examined are found valid, then all are established as valid. Tefillin that have been established as valid never require inspection again. However, in the Sheol Tot, it requires that they be inspected twice a week, but this practice is not followed. Rabbi Amram wrote that even after 4 or 5 years, they do not require inspection, because air circulates among them and they do not decay. But if one does not wear them regularly and only puts them on occasionally, then they do require inspection. It is forbidden to hang tefillin, whether by the straps or by the boxes, but it is permitted to hang them inside their pouch. A house in which tefillin are present, it is forbidden to engage in marital relations there until they are removed or placed in a container within another container, provided that the outer container is not designated specifically for them. For if it is designated, even 100 containers are considered as one. Even if they are placed in a container within another container, it is forbidden to place them beneath one's feet. But beneath one's head, between a pillow and a cushion, it is permitted, even if his wife is with him. If one forgot and had marital relations while tefillin were present, he may not grasp them, neither by the straps nor by the boxes, until he washes his hands and then removes them. If one slept wearing them and experienced a seminal emission, he may grasp the straps and remove them, but not the boxes. One who enters a fixed meal removes them and places them on the table until the time of the blessing, and then puts them back on. One who is carrying a load of 4 kav on his head while tefillin are on his head, if the tefillin are pressed because of the load, it is forbidden, but if not, it is permitted. One who carries refuse on his head is forbidden to place tefillin on his head. If he forgot that they were on his head, even if he wishes to shift them to the sides, he is not permitted to do so, but rather he should bind them on his arm in the place of the tefillin. Even a kerchief used for tefillin is forbidden to place on his head when he has tefillin on his head, but something that is normally placed on the head, such as a turban or a hat, is permitted. It is forbidden to change tefillin of the head to make them into tefillin of the hand, and even to take a strap from them and place it on the hand tefillin is forbidden. But it is permitted to change from the hand tefillin to the head tefillin. If they were new and had not yet been worn, it is permitted to change them, even from head tefillin to hand tefillin. A cloth that one designated for placing tefillin in and actually placed tefillin in it, it is forbidden to put money in it. If one designated it but did not place tefillin in it, or placed tefillin in it without designating it, it is permitted to put money in it. It is forbidden to enter a permanent latrine to urinate while wearing tefillin on one's head, as a decree lest he come to relieve himself with them. In a temporary latrine, however, it is permitted to urinate while they are on his head, but if he is holding them in his hand, it is forbidden to urinate while standing, even if he is holding them wrapped in his garment, because he must wipe away the drops on his legs with his hand. Rather, he should remove them at a distance of 4 cubits and give them to a companion. If one wishes to enter a permanent latrine to relieve himself, he removes them at a distance of 4 cubits, rolls them up like a Torah scroll, and holds them in his right hand, inside his garment, opposite his heart, taking care that no strap protrudes from under his hand by a handbreadth. When he exits, he distances himself 4 cubits and puts them back on. At night, or close to nightfall, when there is no time to put them on again after exiting, he makes for them a pouch of a handbreadth and places them inside it. And if the container is not designated specifically for them, less than a handbreadth suffices. All of this refers to a latrine in the field, but one in a house he should not bring them in at all. If he forgot that they were on his head and relieved himself while wearing them, he places his hand over them until he finishes the first flow, then goes out, removes them, and returns and enters again. It is forbidden to sleep with them, even a temporary nap, when one is holding them in his hand. But when they are on his head, he may spread a cloth over them and sleep in them a temporary sleep. Distraction of mind is considered only when one is standing in frivolity and levity. And Rambam of blessed memory wrote that even a fixed sleep is permitted when they are in his hand. But our master the Rosh of blessed memory did not write this. It is forbidden to enter with them into a cemetery or within 4 cubits of a corpse while they are on his head. In a bathhouse. In the outer room, one may put them on there initially. In the middle room, one may not put them on there initially, but if they were already on his head, he does not need to remove them. In the inner room, even if they were on his head, he must remove them. The laws of morning blessings. And after one puts on tefillin, one orders the blessings as they were established in Sidur HaOlam and leads them. And this is even though the language of the Gemara says that one needs to say each blessing at its time. For so our manuscript reads in Brachot 60b. When one wakes, one should say, "My God," etc., until to lifeless bodies. When one hears the crow of the cockerel, one should say, "Blessed are you, who gives understanding to the sechvi to distinguish between day and night." And the heart is called sechvi in the language of Scripture, as it is written, "And who gives the heart understanding." Is that which understands, and a person distinguishes by means of this understanding between day and night. And since the cockerel distinguishes, and also in Arabic they call the cockerel sechvi, they established that this bracha should be said at the hearing of the cockerel's crow. When one dresses, one should say, "Blessed who clothes the naked." When one places one's hand on one's eyes, one should say, "Who makes the blind see." When one sits up straight, one should say, "Who frees the bound." When one rests on the ground, one should say, "Who spread the earth over the waters."